this will be my last pod from the great state of Vermont. Because I'm outside. Hopefully you can't hear the freaking tractors baling hay over there. Beep, beep.
Oh, I can't hear them, but I hope I do.
Good. Yesterday, so there's a giant field behind us. And yesterday they were like mowing the grass, like acres and acres of grass. And then they come back through running the machine that like pops all the cut grass and like just pops them into like giant rectangles of hay. And Bill was like, wow. City slicker was like, wow, everybody look at this.
Kids, you gotta come see.
Literally, I was like, I married a golden retriever. I absolutely did. All right, guys. Well, I would like to welcome to BeerNet Radio Sinead Carey, Director of Beer at Breakthru Beverage California. Sinead came to Breakthru after its acquisition of Wine Warehouse about 2 years ago, where she had been Director of Sales for beer and specialty beverage. Prior to that, she spent many years at Heineken USA, having managed their on-premise business, as well as been area sales manager for Star Brand Imports. So obviously, a well-rounded vet of many tiers in the industry. And we're lucky to have her here today to talk Breakthru in Cali and the larger landscape. So welcome, Sinead.
Thank you. It's great to be here. Excited to see everybody and chat a little bit about Breakthru here in California.
Awesome. Well, I'm going to get right into it with the big obvious question, right? It's unavoidable. So let's just start with it, right? There have been a lot of changes in California, even just this year. From obviously RNDC is days away from exiting the market. We had a big AB wholesaler, Hand Family Co., acquiring its way into the market this year. Sunset. You have statewide AB wholesalers banding together with CBS for statewide coverage, right? So just a couple of the things that have happened. So I'm just curious, what does that mean for Breakthru beer in the state?
So Breakthru entered California 2 years ago, as you mentioned, as part of the acquisition with Wine Warehouse. And just speaking for Breakthru in general, it has always been our intention to grow our presence in the California market. So since Breakthru has entered into the market, our focus has really been on developing a strong commercial infrastructure, implementing operational enhancements, leveraging new technologies. Our goal as Breakthru has always to be the number one service provider in every market that we enter. And obviously that we operate in. And we want to be viewed as the distributor choice among our suppliers and our customers. So with this transition, we are entering a next phase of growth for Breakthru here in California. We're entering it with, I would describe it as intention and discipline. We're thoughtfully evaluating all of the supplier inquiries to ensure that they align with our strategic goals. Making sure that they complement our portfolio. It's a great premium portfolio that we're very proud of. And look, we're always open to conversations with potential supplier partners. And for anybody who's interested, there is a link on our Breakthru Beverage website that they can fill in. And we're always open to any kind of conversations that happen out of that.
Right. Very cool. And I'm curious, who anchors the Breakthru beer California portfolio these days? I mean, I know Wine Warehouse had a very mighty, but kind of a tight beer footprint, right? So how has that evolved in the last couple of years?
So I would say our California beer portfolio specifically features a really diverse selection of high quality brands that I would consider tailored to every form of consumer occasion. So if you want to have an Italian beer with your pizza, we have an Italian beer. If you want to have a Thai beer with your Thai food, we have one of those. We have a great selection of locally crafted California brews and some from here in the US. We also have a great selection of Belgian brews and also German brews that we're excited about because obviously we're coming up into Oktoberfest season right now, which I always think is a great occasion for consumers to interact with beer and the beer category. So it's a really good eclectic portfolio. It's something for everybody.
Mm-hmm. But no like single breakaway supplier by and large leads it or anything, right? It's mostly crafted imports locally.
Mostly crafted imports. If we're going to talk about some of the brands that we have here within the portfolio, from an import perspective, we proudly represent Polaner, Weichstephan, Hofbrau from Germany. So again, as we go into that Oktoberfest season, we are literally right in the heart of it right now as we're starting to ship. Then from a California perspective, probably our lineup features some great brands like North Coast, the brewery, Anderson Valley. Almanac is another one that's in there. So some really great local crafts. Abita is a great one that we've had for a long partnership for a number of years. Cider has also become a great portion of our portfolio as well. So we have a great local cider with Sincere, Stem from Denver. We brought on Crispin cider this year. So that's a pretty dynamic category for us. And then I had mentioned our Belgian portfolio. So some incredible storied brands like Chimay, Delirium Tremens, St. Bernardus, Bavick, Rodenbach, with such amazing, unique stories that we get to tell. And interestingly enough, this is probably something that's quite unique for us here at Breakthru Beverage. The Belgian family of brewers actually recognized three of us here at Breakthru Beverage. So there is three of us that have the distinction of being the Knights of the Belgian Brewers Paddle, which is kind of exciting. That shows our commitment to the Belgian beer portfolio. So it was a lot of fun to go over and have that experience.
Nice. So definitely a point of view and a niche in the California
Yeah.
market, which is great. Just one more quick one for me. Do you have any RTDs, and what's your philosophy on RTDs in the Cali market? I mean, obviously super competitive there.
Super competitive. So the hard seltzer and RTD category, it's continuing to show growth, and we are investing in these segments alongside our suppliers who are consistently bringing some great innovations behind that category. I think we're at Breakthru California and Breakthru in general, we're committed to supporting the consumer because they are drinking across all occasions, and we do see that here in California, whether it's wine, beer, spirits, non-alcoholic options. So again, our mission is to really deliver a diverse portfolio that offers something for everybody at whatever occasion that they want to consume.
Sinead, you've led beer in a predominant wine and spirits house for about a decade now. Can you share how the approach to beer has evolved over that time? And I guess especially now with predominant beer wholesalers getting more into wine and spirits, how does that kind of affect how y'all view beer?
So I would say our California beer portfolio has always been rooted in the high end, and similar to our wine spirits non-alcoholic portfolio. It means storytelling and data-driven insights are really important. With our beer portfolio specifically, our go-to-market strategy has been to put a team of beer ADSs into the market, and particularly in key markets like San Francisco, Sacramento, LA, Orange County, and San Diego. Their role is to work alongside our full book sales reps and partner with our suppliers to drive performance in the on-premise specifically for our beer portfolio. We also look at the not just as the beer portfolio, but as our portfolio is having something to meet the consumer where they're at, whether it's beer, wine, spirits, non-alcoholic. You never know what that entry point is going to be from an account perspective. When you go to open an account, they could look at our beer portfolio and say, this is what I want. Our spirits, our wine, are non-alcoholic. So it's a great opportunity to be that true all beverage wholesaler, and we've been that all beverage wholesaler for even in our wine warehouse days. The other things that we think are very important that differentiate us is we have a key account team and a national account team. So our key account team here in California works very closely with our suppliers to build out compelling data-driven stories behind the beer category, wine, spirits, non-alcoholic, to present to our either regional chain buyers or national chain buyers. They will work with our supplier partners to sell in schematic placements, to sell in occasion-based opportunities, whether that's drinking Oktoberfest beer during Oktoberfest season, or St. Patrick's Day, or Cinco de Mayo. One of the things that we've also focused on, particularly as a beer category, has been education. It's a big priority for us. So recently, our Belgian importers actually all got together. They brought a number of the brewers out here to California, and several of the brewers traveled throughout the state, sharing their stories directly with our teams. This was followed by a trade show style tasting that brought these brands to life for our sales team, and to really task them with going out and selling our portfolio and leaving them with some memorable experiences. And we also collaborate a lot with our local breweries here as well to create education behind the portfolio. So we'll often not host our sales meetings. It's with some of our local partners, which really does give our sales team that opportunity to see, the brewing process at ground level, and understand and get to understand the identity of some of these local brands as well.
Gotcha. And I wanted to ask another kind of evolution question, I guess, just the craft category specifically. With a decade in that realm at this house, how have you seen craft evolve? Obviously, COVID kind of disrupted things, but where do you see craft nowadays? Like, what kind of styles are they leaning into? What type of operating model are they trying to get into distribution or focusing more on tap rooms, brew pubs?
So I think if I'm looking at our portfolio specifically, we have a number of great local partners here in California that do have local tap rooms that help to promote their brands. I think with California, it's an incredibly dynamic craft market. Yes, we still see tap rooms. We still see a couple that are doing self-distribution models. And again, we're always open to any conversation with any breweries that are interested in pursuing a path of distribution. So it's definitely varied. I think what we've seen, particularly with our craft portfolio specifically, is that it had a little bit of a slower start to the year. But what we've done is really focused on working with our supplier partners, not just in craft, but also with our import beer suppliers as well, to focus in on what their core is, what channel they're trying to succeed in, so that we can build a plan to build success, to drive success.
I'm curious on the craft consumer, if you would consider breaking out more into economy offerings, especially in light of, the economic environment, and also just kind of any insights you have on the craft consumer at this point, what they're kind of reaching for, and if there's any white space that you're seeing that you don't have products in right now.
Yeah, so it's a great question. We have a couple of brands that do have what I call more of a well-priced domestic offering, that's predominantly can, that we've been working with. Going back to the economy, it goes back to looking at right brand, right fit. Does it align with what we're trying to do? Does it align with what that brand is trying to do? So it does come down to choice. I think if we're looking at what are big drivers within our craft portfolio, we still see IPA as a strength here in California. Local craft pilsners still continue to do very well. And then our legacy brands as well, we continue to push as part of our core.
Cool. I wanted to go back to something that you mentioned earlier. Obviously, Breakthru is in many markets, right? And you mentioned a national accounts team, of course. You guys have a lot of collective power. Or how much opportunity is there to bring on those suppliers that you have in other markets in the California market? I assume there's some opportunities, but it's also its own animal. And in some places, those suppliers will obviously be with other distributors, what have you.
Yeah, so we've had a little bit of crossover from other markets. So last year we brought on Great Divide, which we have in Colorado. We brought on Owl's Brew, which we have in another market, to fit into that RTD hard tea space. The other strategy that we have also adopted as part of our beer portfolio is to fill in footprints where maybe we didn't have a full state alignment with a particular supplier. So we were able to fill in some territorials with Bitburger, La Trappe, St. Julien, Anderson Valley. And then we also brought on Dunkin' Spice Coffee late last year as well, which has been really fun. And we continue to add locally. We just brought on Headlands, which is a Northern California brewery here in Northern California. So that's been exciting. So a little bit. And then Crisp and Cider actually is the final one that we added in, which we also launched in Colorado around the same time. So a little bit of collective suppliers happening.
Sure. Very cool. And then I'm curious too, we mentioned about the market being in a lot of change and a lot of flux, especially with the imminent, departure of RNDC. When can we expect, and maybe this is a leading question, but when can we expect the market to go back to normal after the disruption of someone so large leaving? What are your thoughts about that?
So firstly, I do want to acknowledge that obviously this departure from the California market has affected a large number of people, some of them who are friends and have been colleagues over the years. So I do want to acknowledge that. The California landscape, it's continuing to evolve. And I think the wind down of RNDC marks a significant shift. It's unlikely that things are going to get back to what I would call a sense of normal. I think what we're anticipating is a new landscape, one that's more marked with increased competition, a stronger focus on efficiency, innovation, and what I would describe as customer experience. So that's why we are really leaning into being customer and supplier focused. As Breakthru approaches September, because obviously 2nd of September is the date, our biggest priority right now is ensuring seamless onboarding of any of the new suppliers that are coming in, while maintaining obviously continuity of service across our current supplier portfolios. The timing is for all of this is really interesting. Obviously, we had announced earlier in the year that we had signed a distribution agreement with Reveille Family Wines, which is really exciting for us as well. So we're onboarding them right now. But I think the other piece is that we're looking to actively support this growth. So we're hiring right now within the market. That's been on our LinkedIn portfolio to ensure that we have the right talent and we have the right resources in place to meet this evolving need and the evolving needs of our partners. So yeah, it's a pivotal moment for us as Breakthru, and it's an opportunity to really reimagine how we operate in California, strengthen our partnerships with suppliers that maybe we work with in other markets, and now we will have those suppliers here in California, and to look to just to deliver greater value to our customers as well by having a really phenomenal, great portfolio of wine, beer, spirits, non-alcoholics, and RTDs that we can go to market with.
Kind of sticking on this conversation of when will things get back to normal, it seems like we're hearing more and more about the on-premise kind of getting back to where it was and maybe even exceeding where it was before COVID. Are you seeing the on-premise bounce back right now?
So interesting question. I was actually looking at some numbers. So we definitely had a slower start to the year within our overall portfolio. But what we are seeing is that month over month, starting April, our draft business has started to do better and better. So I think that's a sign for us of investments that we've made in the on-premise by putting our beer account development specialists in place, whose focus is to drive on-premise business, draft share within the accounts. And also we had put additional headcount into the on-premise as well within the last 2 years. And I think that strategy is working for us. But it goes back to strong collaboration with our suppliers, right brand, right account, right programming, right channel to really move the needle forward within that channel.
Sorry, it sounds like two tractors are in a in a cat fight over here. I'm in Vermont at the moment, and it's just lots going on. Sorry. Anyway, I'm curious about the California consumer and any consumer, really. You've probably just got finished hearing from some earnings calls like we have, Boston, Molson Coors, people you have in other markets saying it's worse than we thought out there. What are you seeing with the consumer in the California market, right? It sounds like they're still willing to spend on imports, craft, and the on-premise, right? What else?
So I still think that local craft breweries remain very relevant here in California, as I mentioned, and because our portfolio offers, that wide range of craft and import, we definitely have something to meet any of their needs. I think there's a growing demand for well-made, well-crafted premium offerings, whether that's craft beer, import beer, non-alcoholic offerings, wine and spirits. And we're obviously, expanding our portfolio in light of recent news. I think the biggest thing for us too has really been meeting our customers and retailers where they're at. So one of the things that's at the heart of what we do is we've developed Breakthru Now. It's our B2B customer platform, and it's designed to make it easy for a retailer to see what's in our portfolio and see what's going to match with their business and what's going to work for them. And it's 24-hour access, obviously, to being able to view our portfolio. And obviously, this platform is also built in collaboration with our supplier partners. So it enhances their visibility for their brands, whether it's beer, wine, spirits, and it gives our customers the tools that they need to be successful. So technology has also been a big part of our investment as well.
Cool. And I'm also curious, and this is maybe a little bit of a side note, there's been a sort of a Hispanic crunch, right, with the things that are going on in the news and immigration. Obviously, California is a big Hispanic market. Are you guys shielded from that a little bit because of your portfolio makeup, or not necessarily?
Probably not something that I would feel comfortable answering,
Okay.
because
Yeah.
we do have a pretty diverse portfolio.
Hmm.
And look, it's a difficult time, I think, for some of our Hispanic consumers right now.
Yeah.
But as part of some of the transitions that we have with our Rebelieve portfolio, which we're very excited about, they've had a great presence in some of the Hispanic markets in California. So excited about that one too, and entry into that space.
I'm actually curious on your European imports. I think we heard that there were some big names in craft brewers. I think at the end of the year, or maybe at the top of next year, they're going to, I think, Belgium or Germany to understand how those beers are still resonating with new consumers. And so I know you talked about education. It sounded more with your customers and suppliers, but what about like consumer education on these, you know, historical, hundreds of years old brands that have this provenance? Like, are those types of beers resonating with younger consumers at all?
I think so. I think we've had a lot of success. If I'm looking just at our business here in California, we've had a lot of success with our German portfolio and with our Belgian portfolio. I think there is still a great occasion as we look to, or great opportunity, should I say, to look at Oktoberfest as bringing a younger consumer into engaging with the beer category, because there are displays on the floor, whether it is our imported German portfolio, or whether there's a domestic style Oktoberfest on the floor. It offers up that occasion. And I loved the term that Lester used on the recent podcast, the idea of sociable premise. We usually see a lot of events around the Oktoberfest time period, usually starting at the beginning of September. And again, I think it offers up that great opportunity for younger consumers to engage with the category and to engage with the styles. So I think that, using that opportunity, we're definitely starting to see some engagement from younger consumers in the category, again, using that idea of the social premise.
That's interesting because, like I said, I'm in Vermont right now, and there's, a lot of little breweries, and my husband and I were just out at one, and we were talking about how we were looking around, and it's the same people that it was 10, 20 years ago. It's all like aging millennials. We didn't see any like really young people. But you're saying that you do see the newer drinkers out at the Oktoberfest and things like that. That's
Yeah.
heartening. Yeah. Any
Yeah.
other insights about how we get the younger legal drinking age cohort to drink?
Um, again, I think it is about that social on premise. I think we start to see, even at a concert recently, it was everybody and anybody, and people were drinking across all different categories. So I think it's providing them with a great experience. I think that we've come a long way with beer, and I think our importers have been really good at driving that idea of experience, getting your Belgian beer in a chalice glass, getting your Oktoberfest beer in a mug, or getting your European lager poured in the correct glass. I think there's a great experience, particularly with importers, that bring younger consumers into the category. And I think, again, if you're looking at that social on premise where beer is available, whether it's in a can or whether it's on draft, it's just great to see people engaging and being out and being sociable again.
Right. Yeah. No, I totally agree. Sorry again for those screeching tractors. Um, you also mentioned non-alc, and is there anything else you can say about that and the brands that you guys have, and whether that category is still doing well as there are sort of consumer pressures out there?
Yeah, so still continuing to do well. Again, a category that we continue to look at, category that we continue to invest in, whether it's on the beer or whether it's the non-alcoholic spirits segment. Other categories that are doing well for us too, continue to see some success in the 19.2s and the bigger formats for the single serves. I think again, as I mentioned, our crafts has definitely been a little bit slower this year, but it has been really great to see our draft portfolio do well this continue to see some uptick throughout the year.
I have one last one on just kind of off the wall, but Sinead, you worked at Anchor for a little bit. Are you just as in the dark as everyone else about when we can see that brand again?
I am just as in the dark as everybody
Okay.
else.
I thought I had to ask.
Just as in the dark. Um, it's it's a great brewery. It's a storied brewery. I will be excited to have an Anchor whenever it comes back.
Okay.
Yeah, that was good. I was like, oh wow, yeah. Yeah, we would all love to see what a crazy arc that's been.
Yeah.
Anything else, B? Anyone? And do you have any parting thoughts about the industry, California, anything we didn't cover?
Yeah, I mean, look, I think the biggest thing is we're in a really interesting time here in California, and Breakthru is here. We're really looking forward to the opportunity that these shifts in the market are bringing to us. Obviously, always out having conversations with new suppliers. Our link is there on the website, yeah, it's just been really great to catch up with all of you.
Awesome. Great to catch up with you, Sinead. We definitely appreciate it and very timely. And I hope to see you this fall.
Yeah, hope so. Hopefully I will see you all at NBWA and at Brew.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
we'll see
That's
you in
right.
Vegas.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
see you in Vegas.
All
Thanks,
right.
everybody.
Cheers.
Bye.
Thanks.